Hello, everyone. Over the last several weeks, I've been speaking to you through the videos about prayer for the upcoming capital campaign. And I do want to ask that you continue to pray about the capital campaign, about the process, but also about how much that you might be able to give to the capital campaign. Continue to pray that we would grow spiritually as we move through this capital campaign and that God would do a great work among us, not simply by giving us a remodeled building, but by building us up spiritually as we put our faith and trust in Him and faithfully follow the vision to develop our space for worship, for ministry, and connection. Today, I wanted to do something a little different. It's going to be a little bit of a longer video, but I'm going to give you some more details about the capital campaign as we prepare for that. And so I'm going to share my screen with you and just walk through some slides and speak to you about what are the needs of this capital campaign and give you a little more information. In 2020, we made some commitments to purchase the building that we're now in. So we raised money to buy, to remodel, to add on to what was then known as the Premier Events building, turning it into a worship center for Ship Nazarene. I want to take a few moments to celebrate where we are. So as we currently stand, we have purchased the building. We have moved into it. And as of September of this year, we'll have paid off 3 years of our 10-year mortgage that we have on the building. And we've also added multi-purpose rooms on the front, and those rooms are actually paid off. Praise be to God. They're paid for completely. And so that's a pretty big deal for us. And so the plan was originally to buy the building, to add on, remodel it, and then move in. But as we all know now, COVID-19 threw a couple of challenges at us. But I think it's important for us to take a few moments to remember why we're making this move and why we've moved into this building. First of all, we needed handicap accessibility. In our old worship center, you were greeted at the door with steps, and you went inside and there were more steps. And if you had to go down to the bathrooms, there were more steps. Let alone when you got to the top of the steps, there was a small area we called a foyer, and about 6 people could fit there comfortably. And so the reality was the back of the sanctuary was our foyer area. And then that worked at the time for us, but we recognized the need for more foyer space. And not only were our bathrooms downstairs, they were rather small bathrooms. If there was more than one person in the bathroom, you were rubbing shoulders, and that's not comfortable when you're going to the bathrooms. So we needed larger and easily accessible bathrooms. We also wanted more people space, more multi-purpose rooms. We recognized the need for that. And a better people space and flow, as I mentioned, with the foyer area. And then we also wanted to increase our opportunities to engage with the community. And so to date, we have accomplished handicap accessibility, praise be to God. We have easily accessible and larger bathrooms, and we have the multi-purpose rooms. And so we're still working on the people space and flow. The reality is the back of our sanctuary is still our foyer space. And we have some issues with noise between the sanctuary and the classrooms, and worship teams can't practice full out while Sunday school class is going on, and we hear the children when they're in junior church and in the nursery, and so there's still some space issues. And the reality is too, during the week, in the evenings, it would be great for us to be able to offer our classroom or multi-purpose room space to the community, even while there are things going on in our sanctuary. And so we still have some work to do. And now you might be asking, well, what will this remodel look like? And so I have a drawing But here is maybe a better, a helpful video to see what will it look like. So this would be our foyer area. And then we enter the sanctuary. And of course, there would be a sound booth on our left. It must be a special Sunday. Pastor Dale's dressed up in a suit and tie. The wall may not be blue. We probably won't have a grand piano. Direct your attention to the windows in between the foyer and the sanctuary to kind of create an open feel. The doors may or may not look quite like this, but it's just an idea. Looking back at the bathrooms, and then this would be a new hallway. This is the existing kitchen wall, and in a hallway, there's a closet there straight ahead and a door into the kitchen. And then a hallway, so we no longer have to take the walk of shame during service from the bathroom back past the crowd in the sanctuary. And if you like coffee and snacks, we will have a welcome area with a cafe for that. And then here, this window to see into the sanctuary from the foyer area. So you're probably asking, well, what will it take? What are our capital campaign 2.0 goals? Well, our first goal is we want to continue to pay the mortgage for 3 years, which we pay about $35,000 a year. And so this would be $105,000 over 3 years. Now, to get an estimate for what will it cost us to do the remodeling, we had to simply just go to our contractor who did the rooms in the front and say, give us a budget estimate. We know we can't hold that to you a year down the road or year and a half, 2 years down the road, but we need a number. And so they went through the process of giving us a budget estimate. The reality is whenever the time comes to do the work, we'll probably bid that out to about 5 different contractors to get the best price we can. But their bid came in a total of $250,000, which puts us with the remodeling and paying the mortgage for 3 years at a total of $355,000. Now, we put a middle goal in here of 230,000, and that is simply when we've collected $230,000, we'll be able to go ahead and start the process of bidding and doing all the permitting work that we love so much. But that's our trigger goal, if you will, to let's get this thing going. And so let's just take a look forward at the Capital Campaign 2.0 and the accomplishments of what we'll have after we've completed this capital campaign and remodeling project. And so we'll have a foyer space with a cafe. And so that'll be a place for gathering and conversation, a place of escape during the service. Yes, some people sometimes need to escape. For instance, a father with a young child that is restless will be able to get out in the foyer and still watch through the windows and hear over speakers in the foyer what's going on in the sanctuary. The foyer will also create that sound buffer that I've already talked about. Between the sanctuary and the multi-purpose rooms, we'll have a hallway that eliminates the distractions and buffers sound for the nursery. And yes, we'll be able to get coffee at the cafe. Increased opportunities to engage the community. The multi-purpose rooms can be used while activities are taking place in the sanctuary, and there will be some privacy there that isn't there currently, as well as that sound buffer again. And so those are ways that we'll be able to continue to develop this space for worship, ministry, and connection with our community. Plus, as of September 2026, we will have paid off 6 years of our 10-year mortgage. Praise be to God. And so we want to continue to faithfully follow the vision, developing our space for worship, ministry, and connection. And so I want to invite you to the Capital Campaign on June 18th. We will have Vision Sunday, and that's where you'll see some of this again, but there will be some more details as far as how you can give, and we'll be telling some stories and just casting the vision for what this will look like in the ministry that we'll be able to do with our new remodeled space. On June 25th, we'll have Commitment Sunday. And so that's a Sunday where we'll come together, and I'm going to preach on commitment that day. And at the end of the service, we'll bring our pledge cards forward, and we'll commit to joining in the work of raising the money for our remodeling and following the vision that God has for us. And then we'll skip a Sunday. July 2nd is Family Camp Sunday, but then on July 9th, we'll have Victory Sunday, and we'll have some fun revealing what's been pledged and raised for the Capital Campaign. And we'll reveal that. And then at the end of that service at 12 noon, we're going to have a church-provided victory lunch for everybody who wishes to attend. And we'll have a nice meal and celebrate together what God is doing among us. And so I invite you to those important dates and Sundays of our Capital Campaign. Again, I want to say thank you for your consideration and participation in Capital Campaign 2.0 as we faithfully follow the vision of developing our space for worship, ministry, and connection.